and welcome. I'm Eric Miskell with EMSNOW, and welcome to this edition of EMSNOW Up Close. As you can see, I have a familiar face with me today. This is Dieter Weiss. Dieter is the founder and president of in4ma, the preeminent EMS market research firm covering Europe, and as we'll learn, is starting to branch out and cover more parts of the world as well with his good research methodologies. Dieter, it's good to see you, my friend. Welcome. You're looking good.
Thank you, especially for you today. I went to see the barber.
Well, thank you very much for that. I did too. Listen, you recently did your annual survey, and I wanted to talk about the numbers, right? So let's start with the numbers and then talk about what's behind the number and what it means. But why don't you start by kind of give us an overview of from your recent survey about the EMS data 2023 and maybe even looking at what 2024 might look like.
Yes, well, let me start first of all by saying what are we doing here? We are doing an annual survey. It's not just in4ma, it's IPC Europe and in4ma who are doing an annual survey. And we have been very successful every year for the last 4 years to increase the number of participants. That is very important because the more participants we have, the better the numbers. And in the numbers for 2023, we have 306 legal entities participating in the annual survey. And these 306 legal entities stand for 19.8 billion in revenues 2023. This is more than 35% of what we expect the total revenues for 2023 to be. And these 306 companies employ 88,579, not 78, 79 employees. It's a great success, and this success is a joint success of IPC and in4ma, because we are making a lot of advertisements in all the different activities we do, whether it's the IPC seminars or whether it's publications. There is a lot of things happening which actually cause more people to see, hey, there is not just estimations, there is real numbers available, and that is very good. Now, when you ask me what was last year on those 306 companies, those 306 companies had an increase of revenues of 12.4%. It was actually 80.7% who increased their revenues, and it was 19.3% who had a decrease in their revenues. And I'm going to talk about that later. Now, you cannot just go, even so that represents 35% of revenues, you cannot just say now, okay, Europe in 2023 was 12.4%. That is too easy. We have a very strange habit. People with good numbers, they report their numbers. People with bad numbers are reluctant to send the numbers in. Let me tell you, I think it's stupid for the simple reason it is only me and two of my colleagues who see the numbers. We are under strict confidentiality, and even if we ever spread a single number from that survey, we would be out of business immediately. So but anyhow, people are scared. They say, no, we don't report the numbers. So when you now ask me what is 2023 gonna be in Europe, I will not tell you 12.4% plus. I will tell you it's 10.9%, and we have a very specific way to calculate that by country, and if I explain that to you, we're gonna be talking about the next 2 hours, so I'm skipping that.
Thank
Um,
you.
but I thought so. Yeah. So that is the main outcome. It's so 2 years in a row we have now been hitting uh, a two-digit increase in revenues in Europe. Yeah. If you remember last year, it was 13.9%.
Mhm.
Yeah. This year, the increase for 2023, we expect 10.9%, which is for 2 years a very, very good increase.
Mhm.
And we all know it's due to price increases by a third. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, but it is as well due to the bullwhip effect. And we have been talking about the bullwhip effect so often. Yeah. What the chip crisis caused was procurement managers panicking and ordering material like hell just to make sure that they get everything they need. But they ordered all too much, and they ordered quantities that increased their level of storage to more than 100%. All stores are more or less filled. So, what was the result? Starting mid of last year, first OEM customers started to either try to cancel orders or to defer orders to next year. Yeah. In return, those 20% who had revenue decrease last year, they are a result that their customers already tried to defer orders. Uh, and if and now in 2024, in the first quarter, we have heard a lot of companies panicking because they come back and they say, where are the orders gone? Yeah. How can it be that all of a sudden all orders are gone? And they said, no, they are not gone. You manufactured them, but you manufactured them already in 2023. Yeah,
Mhm.
you manufactured demand that originally would have been, if we had a slow and normal situation, those orders would have been manufactured in the first 2 quarters of 2024. And that is what is missing at the moment. That is what is causing a lot of companies going on short labor, working only 4 days or 3 days a week at the moment. Yeah, and some companies are so desperately looking for orders that we are now seeing crazy things as well. Yeah. Uh, and those crazy things are supported by some distributors as well, who are now trying to talk the market into the next chip crisis. I've read a couple of posts last week on LinkedIn where a guy all of a sudden says, well, the next chip crisis is up for end of this year. And we already ask all of our customers to now order immediately the demand for the next 15 months. That is stupid. Yeah. And it is not only unprofessional. Yeah. Uh, um, I think it's not serious business because all these customers still have their stores full. Yeah.
Mhm.
And it will only be very few people who will fall for this stupid argument that we are now on our way to the next chip crisis. Unfortunately, we know as well there have always been special chips with very long lead times. Yeah,
Yeah.
we have chips who have 60 or 70 weeks lead times. Yeah. Uh, but taking those chips as an example and say, see, we're going to go into the next chip crisis is totally unprofessional. Yeah.
Yeah. Although it will be interesting as I hear you speaking about the chip crisis. We just had that horrendous earthquake yesterday in Taiwan that shook the whole country in that region. So it'll be
Yeah.
curious to see what impact that might have and what disruption that might cause to the industry, which is so prominent there on the island of Taiwan. But we'll see that in the future. Listen, you said a lot there, so let me you take a breath and let me ask a few
Yeah.
questions to kind of to follow up. at a big picture level, you talked about the growth of 10.9%. What does that bring the revenue level for European EMS industry in at 20? What are you estimating it to be for 2023, the overall size?
Wait a sec, I can tell you that exactly. It's going to be 57.7 billion euro, which equals more than 62 billion US dollars.
Okay. And is that now, how is that reflect? Oh, let me ask the other big picture. You always do a map of the number of EMS companies in Europe.
Yes.
Where does that stand today? How many entities are there? Roughly, it's over
I
2,000.
could now say I didn't check it today, so yeah, because it really nearly changes every day.
Yeah.
To give you an example, there was a smaller company who acquired a pure engineering company. This pure engineering company, by definition, to me, was not an EMS, yeah, because they are not doing PCBAs. But now a PCBA, an EMS company, buys this company and maintains it at a separate legal entity, and automatically this separate legal entity becomes now part of my statistics. Yeah, so those are typical things which change the numbers. And at the moment, I'm standing at 2,230 EMS companies in Europe, and another 78 in the Maghreb states, in North Africa
North
and
Africa. Hey,
Middle
but
East.
also what confounds that for you is all the merger and acquisition activity, right? I mean, there have been what, about a dozen deals already in 2024.
It is unbelievable, and I normally don't mention individual companies, but in this case I have to do it because I think Sycor in Switzerland, they are having such a fantastic M&A story, and they have a clear strategy, and you probably have seen it today and on the news that they today settled on or finalized the deal with TT in the UK, bringing them be the big player for airspace and defense in the UK.
Yeah.
A Swiss company. Yeah. They bought one company after the other with a very specific dedication. What are they doing? What market segments are they doing? If they are doing market segments which are our target, get them. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I think it's a brilliant story, and I can already tell you, we are having in June our next EMS and PCB forum, and our keynote speaker will be Alexander Hagemann, the CEO of Sycor in Switzerland, and we hope to hear a lot of interesting things from him and about his strategy, because I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, no, that's a good. The other thing, and you mentioned it just there too, the sectors. How is that playing out over there? What are the more positive sectors for the EMS business there now? Is it automotive? You talk electronics. Which particular sectors?
Well, let me just pick it out over here. The automotive industry has gained about 20% in Germany, I have to say now. Yeah. In
Is that mostly
2023.
EV? Dita, is that mostly driven by EV? Electric?
No, I don't think so. Yeah. To be honest, still don't believe in EV, and I will never drive one. Yeah, I want to have a burner. Yeah,
There you go.
because as long as China is putting up more coal power plants, yeah, and increasing the amount of carbon dioxide they put out, it is useless that we start over here in Germany trying to reduce 2 or 3% of carbon dioxide. That doesn't help the global situation. So
Okay.
now you can blame me for being ignorant on this, but yes, I'm
Okay.
stubborn. I'm
Yeah.
stubborn on this one. Yeah.
You just
So
be a
that is
dinosaur. That's okay. That's
yeah.
okay. So,
So industrial electronics went up nearly 14%. Yeah.
wow. Yeah.
Um, Energy went up 32%. Yeah. But that is due as well. That is due to the conversion. Uh, we need to build a huge power grid now to
Mhm.
transport electricity from wind and solar from the north of Germany to the south of Germany. Yeah, it requires a lot of infrastructure. Yeah. In addition, our crazy government, sorry to say that, they are trying to force people to change their heating systems, and a lot of people are nervous and do it, which causes extra demand. We see all of that. But interestingly enough, as well, airspace and defense has gone up in Germany by 26%. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I'm not going to talk about the war. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, 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 because everybody has its own opinion. But I think we should have more efforts in stopping this war than just manufacturing ammunition. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Good.
uh,
So,
those are the segments which are booming, and
yeah.
we have all these data. Yeah.
Mhm.
And this year we were even able to sell this report to China and to the Philippines.
Oh, interesting. Right.
Yeah.
So tell me now, you teased it a bit, but what do you think 2024 might look like as we look forward? Because, as I talk to people in the industry, we just finished Q1, right? So the first calendar quarter is over. People are starting, general sentiment it's been a bit slow. Everybody obviously is hopeful that things pick up later in the year, and that seems to always be the case. So what's your view?
Yeah, well, getting back to the bullwhip effect, we have seen this big upswing in 22, with a top in 23, going down in the second half of 23, and now in the first half of 24, we are tanking. We are tanking in the negative area, and I can tell you, just having finished the first quarter, we have still not seen the bottom. We have still not seen the bottom. It's gonna go down further before it becomes better in the second half of this year. But overall, at the moment, we have calculated this, and we have not just calculated it by ourselves. Part of our questions in the survey was uh, looking at your order backlog. What do you expect to have in revenues in 24? And the outcome was very, very interesting. And it ends up that we are seeing revenues 2024 to be 0.7% below 2023. So going from 57.7 billion to just 57 billion uh, euros.
Euros.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I know people don't like it, but we have to face this harsh reality that people behaved, in my opinion, wrong. How to handle the chip crisis?
Mhm.
Yeah, uh, everybody was saying, "Oh, great, we have orders for the next 2 years. Let's manufacture them." Yeah, and they manufactured them. Yeah, two-digit growth rates for the last 2 years. How did they manage if there was chip crisis? Did they all of a sudden manufacture all these PCBAs without chips?
Mhm.
They did not. They got the chip supplies. So
Mhm.
how can you talk about a chip crisis? Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, those crazy people now trying to talk about the next chip crisis, hey, nobody's going to listen to that anymore. Yeah. And I'm going to make sure that people realize what the real background for this is.
Okay. This is all very good. This is, I want to be respectful of your time here too. So I want to wrap up by asking about a couple of events coming up. One of which, Dita, you will be coming to the United States this week. We are sitting here, by the way, for the benefit of our audience. This is the week before Apex. What Apex begins next Monday. This video interview will probably be broadcasted on Monday, the 8th of April. And but you on the Monday, the 8th of April, will be at IPC Apex speaking to the EMS forum in Anaheim, California. Tell me
Ex-
about that. Tell me about how your association with IPC kind of led to this.
well, I feel very honored to say so, because I was invited to speak at the IPC EMS leadership seminar, and I was invited by the president to Europe and South Asia of IPC, Sanjay Huprika, who is, by the way, a very important sponsor for our work, because he has been supporting the in4ma work for the last 3 years now. And I have to be honest, without his support, I had times where I would have given up. Yeah, because in the beginning it was very difficult. But now I think we are well known, and that is due to IPC and Sanjay, and as well the team of IPC in Europe, Philip Leonard, as well as Andrea Turcot, Peter Tranitz, Francisco. They are all helping over here to really make EMS, the EMS industry in Europe a success story, and
Mhm.
to make it transparent and to help. And for the first time, I'm going to be presenting in the United States. I'm proud to have gotten this chance, and I will talk about the annual survey and about how such qualified data can help EMS companies to make better decisions.
Yeah.
And in order to explain that, I'm going to show how we are doing it in Europe. I'm going to explain it with the objective maybe to convince people that something similar could be done in the United States as well.
Yeah. No, that's very good. And I appreciate your comments about Sanjay because I know through my association with you over the last many years, we're about to do our 4th year on tour. I know that how important he's been in supporting your work, and also that's given me kind of a front row to seeing the development of the IPC as they really kind of uh, grown and expanded their influence within the European market. And so that's all very good. So,
Definitely, if you look at the last couple of years, how many activities have happened.
yeah.
IPC Europe has been supporting the seminar in Tallinn for many years. Last year, they have done a big seminar in Romania. They have done for the last 2 years seminars in London for the UK EMS industry, which you attended last year as well.
Yeah.
And this year, the EMS London seminar will be on the 13th of June again. And again, I have the pleasure to be invited by Sanjay to speak at this seminar and inform the EMS industry about the development of the European EMS market.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, that's very good. I think that's a good audience. I mean, you have such great data, so it's good that you get around to share that with everyone. Lastly, this is more of a promo, I guess, than you and I are going on tour again in the spring of this year, beginning in May, the last week of May and the first week
26.
of June, we're actually, Dita and I, and the press release will be coming out later this month, are going to Tunisia for a week to explore the story of the EMS industry in Tunisia, which has been a developing one, an exciting one, and I think it's become a very important location for the EMS industry in Europe, especially. And then we will go up to Europe, have several meetings, and also be attending the event that IPC and in4ma do, the EMS Forum, which will be in Ulm, Germany, the hometown of none other than Albert Einstein. So this will be it'll be an exciting time. Any comments about what we have planned?
Yeah, well, we have fixed many of the meetings in Tunisia already. From there, we're going to go over to France. We're going to have an important meeting with a very big EMS player in France with a new CEO over there. From there, we are gonna head over to Germany to two more big EMS companies, which I'm not mentioning at the moment.
Right.
Let it be a surprise. Yeah, but it's gonna be very interesting. And as you said, we're gonna have the EMS firm, and the subject of this year's firm is gonna be it's all about money,
Yep.
because we feel that number one, there is a lot of business coming back from the Far East. Still, it's not just coming back for sustainability reasons. The customers expect to have those products manufactured then in Europe, but at similar prices which they paid in the Far East so far. So this opens the big question: are we going to do that? And we do have possibilities in Europe uh, to look for low-cost areas. And in my opinion, every EMS company with more than, let's say, 30 million euros in revenues, they should have the option of manufacture some critical margin products in a low-cost location. And there is number one, Moldova. There is the Balkan, which is Serbia. But there is as well Poland. We're going to have the subject of Poland because in the Central Eastern European states, Poland has the highest population with more than 40 million. So if you compare that, for example, with Romania, you only have 18 million inhabitants over there. So if Poland and Romania have an unemployment rate, let's say, of 3%, the labor availability in Poland is much bigger. And when we talk about setting up facilities in the East, we are not just talking about 10 to 20 people factories. No, we are talking about bigger factories, and then you need people. Yeah, the availability of people is very important. And that is why we decided this year to go to Tunisia. And I'm really pleased, Eric, that you agreed to give a presentation at the forum about our visits in Tunisia. And I'm even proud of you that you're going to give this presentation in German. Yeah.
Yeah, I did that, didn't I?
Yeah. So,
Stay
because in
tuned.
Tunisia, it is very close. You have a very high SMD line density in the area of Tunisia. In actual fact, compared to Europe, there is in Tunisia there is a higher S&D line density because there is not only EMS companies, there are some very big OEM companies as well, and they are all manufacturing there. And one of example. What is good is they have 17% unemployment. So labor availability is still there. And in specific for the French companies, it's very easy because one of the national languages in Tunisia is French.
Yeah.
So that is very helpful, and that's why you see companies like, for example, Lacroix and Astil Flash over there located, or Alliance Electronics
All
and
circuits.
all circuits. Yeah, they are all from France, and they all have big factories over there.
Yeah. And not to be outdone, the Germans decided to come down there too. So we certainly
Yeah,
have Zollner.
Zollner
Zollner
is
will be down there
already
too.
building the second factory. The
Yep.
first one was a factory more focused on coil winding. Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah, that was the first one. We are not going to visit the coil winding factory. We're going to visit the new factory, uh, which is more at the coast, and that is nearly
yeah,
finished. And we're going to see this, and
yeah.
that is focused on the EMS business.
And I will say, what surprised me when I saw our itinerary is it's our flight from Frankfurt to Tunisia is less than an hour and a half.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
It is
So
just, it is that close. That's, I can fly, I live in Dallas, Texas. For me to get to Guadalajara, Mexico, one of the big hubs, it's a longer flight than that, right?
yeah,
So,
yeah.
but it just shows how close that is and what an important story that is. Stay tuned. We will be reporting on that. We'll be doing podcasts. I am going to be presenting in German on that at an event, but then subsequent to that, we'll be releasing a report about our trip, as we do for each of these, to the industry. That'll be made available for free to the industry later this summer. So, okay, Dieter, I've taken enough of your time. I look forward to seeing you next week in Anaheim. I will buy you some Mickey Mouse ears so you blend in with all the other tourists. And travel safe. Thank you again for sharing this. Your data is top notch, and I always learn something when I speak with you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Cheers.